welcome. This is our Thriving Through the Holidays session, and we're really happy that you could be here. Just a few couple housekeeping rules before we get started. Everybody's going to be on mute, so just so that you know, if you have any questions, though, you can certainly type them in the chat. So at the bottom, if you scroll across your screen, there should be a little comment bubble, and you can just put it in there, and then one of our other coaches will respond to you. If we have time at the end, we'll take some questions, but we want to make sure that we're respecting everybody's 30 minutes of time. So, and hang on to the end, because that will be good, because that way we'll be able to give away a door prize. Always love to give away things. So let's get started. So by way of introduction, of course, now my thing is not going to work. So 1 second. So my name's Beth Enslin, and this is me in the upper left-hand side. That was me about 10 years ago. I was on a trip of a lifetime. I was over in Switzerland, but let me tell you, I was so out of shape. It was scary. It was a little frightening. I was afraid to go hiking. I did it. I was in excruciating pain. And that was when I said, I just can't do this anymore. I don't want to live like this. So found this program, went on. I lost 98 pounds in 9 months, but changed my life, which is why I coach, because it gave me back the confidence that I lost. The pain went away, and I just started to feel amazing. But what's even cooler is that picture of me on that right-hand side is me just in September. And I went hiking again. I went into the Grand Tetons, though, and hiked every day and felt absolutely amazing, and such an amazing difference. And that's what we want to do, is help everybody get healthy. So I want to introduce to you our other host tonight, Chris Combest.
Hello, everyone. It's funny because the picture that I chose, my picture on the left, I'm in Yellowstone, and after that we went to the Tetons, but I wasn't able to hike because of my weight. So we were pretty much, taking pictures of landscape and standing next to stuff that we would normally hike. So I'm looking forward to going back after being on this program and actually being able to hike out there.
And Chris, how much did you lose?
I lost 100 pounds in 11 months.
So awesome. So what we're here to talk about is really about how to help people thrive through the holidays, because it does not have to be a season where people either, one, feel that when they come out of it, they've gained a lot of weight, or when you're going through the holiday season, feeling so deprived and then having that derail you. So a lot of times when we start to talk about the holiday season, this is how people feel for a lot of people, and they may not do it visibly, but a lot of times that anxiety is inside. And this is for a lot of reasons. Sometimes it is that, like, oh my gosh, here we're going into the holiday seasons. And it could be financial concerns that people have. It could be food that, you've been doing so good for so long, and now all of a sudden you're just having that concern that I'm going to go completely the opposite way, because maybe that's been your past history. Or it could even be, oh no, now I'll be around people that I'm not around that often. And that may put some challenges into your life, and people just start to think about that. So what we're going to do is going to help you walk through some different things and give you tips to help you get through all of those situations. So, but before we start, what we want you to do is we want you to take a moment and think, where do you want your health to be when you wake up in the morning of January 1st, 2025? How do you want to feel, both physically, emotionally, mentally? And then I want you to take that step further and think, well, why is that important to you? When was the last time that you felt like that? And if you did feel like that, how would that impact you? How would that impact your friends, your family? Because all of those things, sometimes we can just forget about it, and we don't think that far in the future. So I'm going to ask you to actually go there and think about that. Some people just say, I'll wait and get healthy after the holidays. I'm just going to put it off. I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to think about maintaining my health. I'm not going to think about continuing on my health journey. And what we're going to here to tell you is, that's all. It's all good. You get to make that choice, but we want you to think about it and really think about it before you just start doing it. So a lot of times people think, okay, there's an event and there's an outcome. So there's Christmas. I'm going to get gifts, but I'm going to gain weight. There's everything that you do. Here's something, and then that's what happens. But what we're here to tell you is that's not really how it works. How it really works is you have that event, but then you have that response, and that actually is your outcome. And that is the biggest difference, because you don't have control of the event and you don't necessarily have control of the outcome, but what you do have control of is your response. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight.
What is your response going to be the holidays? What do you want your ideal outcome to be? And that's what we're going to look at today. You know, she talked about, you know, your outcome and everything. So there's a few different options that you can take to get to where you want to be. Option one, would you enjoy the benefits of eating healthy throughout the holiday season? So that's your first option. Just eat well. If you're on program, stay on program. Small, frequent meals, drinking a lot of water, being active. And what this is going to do is you're going to feel great like you do now because you're following your program. You'll have more energy to spend time with your family and your friends, and you're just going to feel good going into the new year. Option two, do you want a compromise? And what this means is making healthy choices like you are on your program or wherever you are every day, except for a few holiday meals where you might indulge a bit more, you know, have some sweets, eat a little more than you normally do. And there's no right choice. Whichever you choose is what you're going to decide is best for you and where you want to be. Option three, don't change anything. If you're eating healthy, yay. If you're not, then more than likely you're going to gain weight over the holidays. And the average is like 5 to 7 pounds between now and the end of the year, just from overindulging. Decide which option you want before the holiday event arrives. Don't walk in on Thanksgiving Day and be like, oh, I wonder what I'm going to want to eat here, what I'm going to be able to eat here. Make that plan before. Design a plan based on your options and what you want to achieve. Some things to consider. There are only 40 days left in this year. That's kind of crazy if you think about it. So there's 6 healthy meal choices a day, since we eat 6 times a day, and that makes 240 meal choices that you have between now and the end of the year. How many are holiday meal choices? About 5 to 7. You have Thanksgiving, you have Hanukkah, you have Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day watching football, Hanukkah, there may be a Christmas luncheon with friends or family. So maybe 5 to 7 meals out of your 240 that would be impacted.
So here's the thing. Don't use the holidays as an excuse. I think that's the biggest thing. When you think of 5 to 7 meals out of 240, that's a snippet. That's a blink. So you can absolutely thrive this holiday season, and you can enter 2025 with momentum to continue on your success. You have so many opportunities to make choices that are in line with your healthy goals, and we're going to go through some of those tips for you. So let's talk about a strategy that's going to help you really get there and have those wins on your side. So one of the things, the ways to do that is to think, like I had started out with, where do you want to be? What do you want to achieve? Right? So one scenario is that, you want to make sure that you're on a healthy eating plan. So I want to make sure I'm on a healthy eating plan so that I maintain my weight and I feel better than I usually do during the holidays, because maybe I haven't been so good in the past, but now I'm making that change and I'm on my health. So maybe that's what I want to do. But I have to say, okay, where am I right now? Where is my current reality? So you have where you want to go, but where are you now? And for this example, I just said, okay, I've gained a little weight. I don't really feel good about that. And I'm going to have a hard time getting through those holidays without gaining the 5 to 7 to 10 pounds if I don't do something. So that's where I am now, right? So what's next is we have to make a plan. We have to make those action steps to get us from where we are now to where we want to be. So some of those steps might be to commit to sticking to the plan, drinking a minimum of 64 ounces of water a day, getting enough sleep. So many times during the holidays, we don't get as much sleep as we need to because we're out at parties or visiting other people or just busy doing holiday stuff that we don't get enough sleep. And that's really, really important. And then the other thing is, carrying a healthy snack with you at all times, just in case you get delayed someplace. You don't want to give yourself an excuse to have something that might not be healthy. So before we start eating, I want you to think, why are you eating it? So there's two ways to look at things. There's the rational side and the emotional side. And before you actually start eating, that's where we want you to think, what side of the brain are you using? And really to stop and ask yourself those questions.
And
Chris, do
some
you want to
questions
take these?
you can ask to see if this is a rational decision is eating this in my long-term best interest. If I eat this now, how am I going to feel tomorrow? How am I going to feel in a week? How is it going to affect my health and where I am? And how are you going to feel a year from now? If you continue to make these decisions over and over and over, and every holiday, every birthday, everything, where are you going to be in a year? For me, I'd be right back where I started. So one method to approach these decisions is called stop, challenge, choose. And what you want to do is you want to stop and think before you respond or before you eat whatever you're going to eat. And this isn't a rolling stop like a lot of people do. Come on up to the stop sign, look around, keep going. No, you need to stop and think about what you're doing. If I eat this cupcake, how am I going to feel in an hour tomorrow? And then think about, why do you want that? Are you sad? Are you mad? Are you happy? Are you actually hungry that you want something to eat? Think about, you know, why you're eating it and if it's rational and if it's going to get you to where you want. So then your third thing you do is to choose based on your outcome and everything else that we've been talking about. You stopped, you thought about it, you know why you're eating the cupcake or why you thought you were going to eat the cupcake, and then you make a decision.
Chris, I love that example of the rolling stop because I think so many times we think that we're stopping, but it's kind of like we're coasting through it and we don't really come to that full, complete stop. So I love that idea.
Okay, some challenges, strategies, and tips for the holidays. What if you have a family tradition of you get together and you do a cookie exchange, or you make gingerbread houses, or just have a baking party? Find a way, make some non-edible gifts this year. Just do something. You could have your craft while everyone else is baking and doing all that. And that keeps you a little healthier. Brush your teeth with really minty toothpaste because you do, if you bite a cookie or bite whatever, it tastes horrible. And if your teeth are clean, it may keep you from, eating the cookie also. Eat before you bake. If you're going over to someone's house, have a fueling, have a lean and green, have some protein, just something to fill you up before you get there and start smelling everything baking. Um, Wash your hands frequently. And what this does is, if you're like me, I have a habit of I'm licking my hands all the time. Um, when I'm doing stuff. So you keep washing your hands, there's nothing there anymore. And I haven't tried this option yet, but put Vicks Vapor Rub under your nose. The cookies will not smell nearly as good. You probably won't even smell them.
I love that one. I'm just telling you. It's, I love that.
And then if you're going to a holiday gathering, whether it be family, friends, coworkers, um, have a plan. What am I gonna do when I get there? Someone hands me a drink, they hand me a cookie, they hand me a plate of sandwiches. Have an actual written plan, know exactly what you're going to do, know how you're going to respond when a challenge comes up with someone hands you wine. No, sorry, I don't drink or whatever, you say. And then the same thing with food, I'm good, and whatever it is that you say. And then don't go hungry again. That's so important with all of this. It's kind of like going to the grocery store. If you're hungry, you're going to buy all kinds of stuff that you normally wouldn't buy. So same thing at a party.
So when you go, the other thing is don't focus on the food. It's so easy when you go to a party because there's usually a lot of food out, but what you're there for is the friendships, is the community. So focus on that. Enjoy yourself. Count these as precious moments that you get to just have and cherish. And you know what? When you're feeling good, strut your stuff. Like use that opportunity to be a role model for other people. Like let other people know, like, no, I'm good. I'm healthy. And as Chris just talked about it a couple of minutes ago, when have those ideas of when someone asks you if you want something, have that plan of what you're going to say to them. And if you are drinking, it could be like, oh no, I'm the designated driver tonight. Or if someone says, do you want some cookies? And you can just say, oh no, thanks. I'm just being healthy this year. Don't tell them you're on a diet. Whatever you do, don't tell anybody that you're on a diet. Because when you tell somebody that you're on a diet, what usually happens is people say, oh, you don't need to be on a diet. Oh, it's just one. It's not going to hurt you. It's all in the way that you tell people. Say it with confidence. I'm working on being healthy this year and I feel amazing. And don't be afraid to say that.
Okay. Take your own food when you're going somewhere, whether it's a Christmas gathering or anything with work, and it's a potluck. Take things that you want to eat that are on your plan. I don't like to say things that you can eat because we can eat anything, but we choose to eat what is going to fuel our body and what's going to make us feel good. Now, if you have to bring snacks, bring things that you aren't tempted by. I know a couple years ago for Halloween, I bought Tootsie Rolls for the kids because I don't like them. So I knew I wasn't going to eat them. So, the same kind of thing, bring something that's, fun and good, but that you don't care for and isn't going to tempt you. And we made this isn't ours, but we made a little turkey tray like that a couple years ago. And it was so cute and it was great. And then there were vegetables there for us to eat.
That's such a great, great way. I've made that turkey platter as well to bring to Thanksgiving dinner. It was a huge hit, huge hit. Okay, here's another tip. Move yourself away from the food. Do not stand or sit next to something that is your kryptonite. You are not a tree. You can move, first of all. And if you like where you're sitting, then move the food. swap them out. If somebody has a bowl of chips that you just can't, you love that salt, move them. Put something that you don't like next to you, if that's what it is. But so just focus on that. Don't put yourself in a place where you're going to struggle. That's not what you want to do. But some other tips are bring a water bottle with you or have a glass of water. Hold it in your dominant hand. You know why? Because it's just a little bit more awkward to reach for things with your non-dominant hand. Try it out. I'm telling you, it is really cool. I want you to try to think about if there's like a buffet, you do not have to have everything at a buffet. It's easy. It's good to like scan first, see what's there, see what you like. Do not feel that you need to have everything to be put on your plate. You really want to try to avoid the portion distortion. And one good way to do that is use the smaller plate, because really we're supposed to be using 9-inch plates anyway. In America, we kind of got into the bigger plates, the 11-inch plates, and my goodness, sometimes it's like platters and then we have it like really high. We don't need that much food. But when you do have your food, eat slowly. If you tend to eat fast, some tips are maybe if you take a bite with a fork, put your fork down. Really put it down on the plate while you finish chewing. Maybe have a conversation as well. But you can take a longer time to eat, and that will help you to help your brain to recognize the satiety that you have from your stomach. Don't go back for seconds. I know it's free food, it's a party, but you don't need to go back for seconds, as long as you have that ample amount on your plate. And as Chris had said, bring a healthy snack to share with your family and friends. There's only one person, I think, in my entire life that was offended that I brought something to a party. I wanted to make sure that I had something to eat. Now I just ask, but I still try to bring something that I know that I would like to eat at the party.
When you're cleaning up, whether it's your house or somewhere else, if snacking on the leftovers is something that you like to do, like, ooh, there's a big wad of mashed potatoes on here, I'm going to eat that, and I'm going to clean off this cake plate, that would be me. So do something else. Either wash the dishes. I normally volunteer to dry the dishes. Let someone else put away the food. And then if it's at your house, what you can do is you can take the food and make it into little lean and greens that you can freeze. And then during the week, all you have to do is pull it out. It's all portioned and you're ready to go for the week. The other thing is, if people bring snacks and things that you are not eating, send them home with them or send them home with someone else. I think Beth said the other day about putting stuff in little baggies and handing it to people as they walk out the door. So whether that's the pie or the snacks or the chips or whatever, send it home with someone else.
It's all about the gift of giving, right? You don't want to feel that you're going to be throwing things out, but you certainly don't have to eat it. So yeah, our family, we always make sure that we have a container of Ziploc bags or something that when people are putting the food away, it's like, oh, just dish it out, and everybody takes bags of food home with them.
That's a great idea.
Okay, so here's the thing. Focus on your friends and family, not the food. Plan ahead. No reason to go hungry. Take control. Choose those smaller plates. Avoid the family style dining. Move before munching means, make sure that you get some activity in. If you're going to be going to a party and if there's a chance that you might be eating more or you're just going to be more sedentary, try to do something beforehand. Another tip is, cocktails can be a lot of empty calories, right? Not only that somebody can say, oh, but I only choose this and, it doesn't have any carbs in it, or, there's not that many calories. So I can have one. And yes, you can have one, right? And talk to your, a coach or whatever to talk about that. But there's always a challenge when people have more than one, because sometimes our inhibitions get a little bit lower, and that it just makes it harder to say no. It's harder to resist things after you've had a couple drinks. So just as like a heads up, but there's some great recipes out there for mocktails that look really fancy and absolutely taste delicious. So there are options. And don't be afraid to use your healthy friends for support. If you're going to a party and your friend is there and they are healthy, just say to them, hey, listen, I'm trying to be really healthy. Will you help keep me in check? People love to do that. Your friends want to help you succeed. So just remember that.
So for the holiday season, enjoy yourself, enjoy your family, your friends, every little moment. And you don't have to just survive the holidays. You can thrive.